Hey, somebody's got to turn me up. You did? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You're listening to the Professional Noticer.
You know, Andy, this is where I really belong.
Here, you and I will use common sense and all the wisdom we can muster to move beyond what is true and go all the way to the truth.
Do you mind telling me what this is all about, mister?
With actual listeners in more than 100 countries, I am the Professional Noticer.
Barney Fife in the asphalt jungle.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. As the Professional Noticer, it's my job to professionally notice something for you, and nothing's off limits. So, do you have any questions? As business, spiritual issues, popular culture? We even tackle the odd conundrum like, do people who use sign language see little hands in their heads when they think about what somebody said? Look, my purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or coach. I want to help you live the life you would live if all your toughest questions were answered. Our sponsor this week is Tucker ATV. The great people in Jackson, Alabama, Highway 43 North. If you have any lawn mowing needs, they have the equipment. They got all the Hustler, zero turn, all the just unbelievable stuff. You have any need for Echo power tools? I mean, I'm not talking about just the little small assortment they have in some of the big box stores. These guys have everything. I mean, they got the big sauce. It's pretty awesome. And of course, every single ATV that Polaris makes, it's the very best ATV and the very best dealership in the entire line of Polaris ATVs. These guys, Shannon and Lisa Tucker, are unbelievable. They're doing business in 14 states. People from 14 states are coming to this tiny town in South Alabama to do business. And it's once again, we see the difference maker is the people. Get on Tucker ATV's Facebook page and say hi to Shannon and Lisa. Read what Lisa writes. She's very funny. And these are just great people. And there's coming a time that you're going to want to have something to ride around in mud with. So get you an ATV, get a Polaris, and get it at Tucker. Tucker ATV, Highway 43 North in Jackson, the small town business with the national reputation. All right, observations and answers, what we do here. This week, how about some observations that are really answers to questions that I've been hearing all week? You know, we're still doing the week-by-week Professional Noticer, just trying to bring you the latest with the coronavirus pandemic, epidemic, and disaster. It's hard to decide, isn't it? It's hard to decide what's really going on when you got a bunch of people who are elected leaders, and it sure seems like their first concern is getting reelected. I don't know. I just see a lot of that, and I kind of look left and look right sometimes to see what is everybody thinking. Did you hear what they just said? But you know, and there's the old saying, "It is what it is." Well, that's true, unless it isn't. And and to a great degree, we make things as they are. We're the ones who decide how this is going to be. In Albany, Georgia, last week here's the governor who had closed down the state in near the 1st of April, saying he had new information. Well, what was the new information? Well, the new information was that apparently this virus can be spread by people who are not showing any symptoms. Like, really? You're just figuring this out, dude? I mean, we knew that when the virus was in China, and it had to come all the way to Georgia for you to figure this out. I mean, what did you think that your neighbors, our governor in Alabama shut the beaches down 3 weeks before you figured out that they were this virus was being spread by people not showing symptoms. Are you kidding me? I mean, why do you think Florida and Alabama are shutting their beaches down? And then, a couple of weeks later, you said, well, now the churches can open. And, fortunately, you have people like Michael Catt in Albany, Georgia, Pastor Sherwood Baptist. He has such a great relationship with all the different pastors and different denominations, different ethnic backgrounds there in that Albany, Georgia area. And they all got together and they said, look, we can't social distance in churches. We have nurseries. This is not the way we do business, and it's not what we do. And so we're set up to go online. And so they made this big announcement that, yeah, we're going to continue to do it online for a while. And so just understand that I think, and Michael said this to me, he said, Andy, he said, just because we can doesn't mean we should. Yeah, and that's true. And I wonder sometimes about the idea of it being gone and us opening up too early, because the way the virus spreads and the way we see it spreading across the map, one state might be getting rid of it while another state's just coming in. I know a few weeks ago I saw a national map and it showed every state with an infection except West Virginia. And I was the article was hysterical because it's like, what can we learn from West Virginia? What are the people in West Virginia doing to teach us how to not get this virus? And a friend and I were looking at this, we're like, are you kidding me? Who wrote this? Has this person ever been to West Virginia? Have you seen how they live in West Virginia? I mean, it's not as populated. People are living, in small towns. There's ridges that are mountain ranges that are separating people, and they're getting it now. It just takes longer to get there, and so my concern is that we look at New York and look at LA and look at Portland and we go, okay, well, it seems like it's gone. Well, then it's just getting to West Virginia. And so we got to be careful that history doesn't look back at us and say, the worst times were when this virus was at its peak and when we thought it was gone. And everybody just went out and then it kind of started up again. I mean, we really have to be careful with this. And so I really believe that we need to not get, Terry Bradshaw has a great song out now. It's a hilarious song. And Jimmy Yeary wrote it. And the song is Quarantine Crazy. And you've probably heard it by now, but the song is hilarious. But it's making fun of how we act. I mean, here we have a few days at home. Most of us are begging for, what would you think if you just all of a sudden had 6 weeks of vacation one year? And that's kind of what we're getting. Now, you say, yeah, but Andy, people are, not getting paid. Yeah, I know. I understand. I'm not getting paid either. All my dates were canceled. And I thought, well, okay, we got, some books. And so then, Amazon calls the publishers and says, hey, we're not going to be stocking any books that run out, and we're not going to run out because we're not going to deliver them. So I'm like, okay, all right, well, we'll figure out something else. And, our main concern, I think, should be in this time is how can we create value for other people? I think we tend to take care of each other in a greater way when we see each other taking care of each other. And so I think it's a huge opportunity for us to kind of go back to some basics and learn some stuff about being with our families and entertaining ourselves. This is bad, but you guys, it's not as bad as it could be. I mean, this could be so much worse, but we can take the time to show our children how to have imagination, to be inventive. There is a way you can get some good old plastic ball game cups and put them in 18 places around your house or around the yard, inside the house if it's raining. I mean, you got an 18-hole golf course there with pennies. Throw in pennies, just like standing, 50 feet away and just play golf. Shoot toward that cup, throwing them toward the cup and play golf all the way around. My sister and I used to spend a lot of time on rainy days throwing pennies at a jar. And then when fair time rolled around, we loaded up. Because we could throw those ping pong. We'd come back with 50 goldfish, man. We'd come back with soft drinks from the fair that we tossed rings. We could throw a penny into anything, and we were good at it. And so, don't think you're just wasting time throwing those pennies. It's going to pay off one day. So there are a lot of things that can be done. I mean, find a book and read to each other. Read to each other. Wisdom Harbor, several docs are open to everybody right now. And you can get 30 days free of Wisdom Harbor. There's so much to do in there, so much to experience with your family together. And businesses are connecting with Wisdom Harbor and using that to build teams in their businesses. So it's a great time. It's time of opportunity. It's time of opportunity to learn how to use your imagination. While other people are moaning and groaning, the people who continue to play the game are going to be ahead when this thing stops. They're just going to be. There are people who are using the time to learn things and read things that they hadn't had time to do before. Some of us are being forced into new ways of communicating. We're using the studio right here to do stuff out with corporations and talking to groups. And then, I've had to learn some social media skills with, Matt and SB. These guys are laughing at me because we've got a new live show that's going out on social media several days a week, 3 days a week, and we don't know which 3 days, but it's always at 12:15. It's the Blue Plate Special. Lunchtime learning and laughter, 30 or 40 minutes. We do it live. I mean, it's live. And so we're going to be, this week, I know we're going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday live, 12:15. And that's on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and probably something else, but I don't know. And so, but join us. I'm watching several of our friends that are figuring out new ways to do the businesses that they have, and they're I've heard several of them say, I'm not so sure I'm going to be going back to my old way of doing things because this has forced me in a different way of thinking, and this may turn out better than I thought. I'm hearing that from a lot of directions. But of course, you still continue to hear the griping and moaning and complaining from the people who just refuse to think beyond where they are. I mean, when you can't change something, that's an inevitability. And so when things are inevitable, then you accept what it is, but you set your mind on different results. You set your mind on a different destination. And a lot of times that destination ends up to be a better destination than you ever thought you could reach in the first place. So, again, take the time with your families. Take the time to explore new ways of doing things. Take the time to explore new ideas. If you've always wanted to learn how to play a certain game, learn how. Now's the time. You always wanted to I can't tell you how many people I've had tell me they wanted to write a book. Write a book. People say, I don't know how to write a book. Yeah, okay. Well, neither did John Grisham before he wrote a book. Learn to play the guitar. I hear people say, well, I'm not any good at guitar. I tried to play one time and it's not any good. Look, Eric Clapton wasn't any good at guitar until he learned how to play the guitar. Everybody has to learn and practice. And if you've got anything right now, you've got some time to practice. You got some time to learn it. And so these are times that we would not choose, but they're times that we will never forget. And I don't mean that necessarily in a negative way. There will be relationships strengthened. There will be things learned during this time that's going to change the end result of everything. And people are going to prosper during this time. Somebody's going to. Why not you? Why not us? I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. Hey, remember to seek wisdom. I already talked about wisdomharbor.com. That's wisdom, HARBOUR.com. Go there now, be welcomed, and get a free 5-minute guided tour, and then get your 30 days for free. And then there's several docs that are free right now. And so come on, join us. Do it for your family, your business, and your schools. Wisdomharbor.com. And I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing the mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, smile while you talk. Don't breathe anyone else's air, but make sure you have a positive answer to the question, how's it going? And so, until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limbert. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Training wheels provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by feelliktheprincipal.com. At feelliktheprincipal.com, we're committed to helping the mothers, fathers, grandparents, friends, and guardians who are now suddenly teaching and reprimanding kids from grades K through 12. Are your new students acting up in class? Just because it's also the kitchen and you need them to follow the rules so you can continue preparing the lasagna that is today's school lunch and dinner for the family tonight. Well, now, whether you're teaching alone or have a significant other to play the part, you can have all the amenities not only to feel like the principal, but to make your kids feel just a little scared to be sent to the office. At feelliktheprincipal.com, you can choose from our assortment of special products like a principal nameplate for your door, an intercom system to call your kids to the office, uncomfortable chairs for students to wait outside and imagine the punishment that must be coming, detention slips, tardy slips, personal landlines to ring your own cell phone when you have to shout the words, "Well, that's it, we're calling your parents." Bring back that sense of authority to the house and finish your lasagna in time. That's feelliktheprincipal.com.